Thanks for joining us. First up at 9, new developments in the case of a young woman who went missing back in February. Just a few days ago, the body of 26-year-old Amanda Nenigar was found in the desert near the Arizona-California border.
Tonight, her family is exploring legal options, saying the California Highway Patrol failed to find her after she called for help and called 911. Her car was stuck in a ditch. She tried to get help by calling 911. She gave her coordinates to California authorities, but they couldn't find her. By the time Arizona authorities learned about this case, she was nowhere to be found.
True crime correspondent Briana Whitney's been following this case for us. Briana, does the family think they have grounds to file a lawsuit here?
Well, you know, according to attorneys, that answer is possibly. I'm told it is notoriously hard to sue the government, and both Arizona and California have a lot of immunity when it comes to liability. But in this case, the family says it's possible Amanda Nenigar would still be alive had this 911 call been routed to Arizona authorities right away. So an attorney says if for nothing else, a lawsuit may create systematic change.
Are you guys gonna find me?
Well, we're doing what we can to find you, okay?
That's Amanda Nenigar on the phone with 911 on February 27th. The call connects to El Centro California CHP. Amanda has no service and can only make emergency calls. She says she crashed her car in a ditch and needs help, and gives exact coordinates of what her phone says, in addition to descriptors of the area.
Yeah, it's just a lot of mountains. We're coming to like a high mountain and I'm wearing pink.
Even with coordinates, El Centro CHP nor Blythe CHP could find her. It would be a week until her car was found in Cibola, Arizona. That's when Arizona authorities got involved, and when they heard the 911 call, they found the coordinates right away. Those were about a mile away from her car in the ditch. Weeks later, Amanda was found dead in a similar area. The whole situation infuriates Amanda's sister, Marissa.
After the call hung up, why didn't you go listen? Like, why couldn't he find her? She would still be alive. She would still be here.
The family says they are looking to pursue a negligence case, but do they have grounds to do so?
The most important information that she gave the dispatcher was horribly botched by the dispatcher, and it cost this young lady her life.
Tom Ryan and Russ Richelsoph are attorneys unaffiliated with the case. We asked them both if the family has grounds to sue. That answer is yes, but it won't be easy.
And the California Tort Claims Act gives the government in California broad immunity. It also carves out some exceptions for when the government can be sued.
Both attorneys say because of immunity, the family will need to prove gross negligence, which has a higher burden of proof than a typical negligence lawsuit.
The reason you need to pursue a claim like this is because that's how changes are made.
Changes like training, education, and funding for dispatchers.
This is really scary. Well, it's okay. We're here. We're trying to figure out where you're at, okay?
The call now haunts the Nenigar family with grief and frustration as they hope pursuing legal action will save someone else's life in the future.
Like, my sister was still out there suffering. Who knows how many days it took for her to die. We just don't want this to happen to anybody else ever. Like, it's horrible.
And they say any money they were to win if they do sue would go directly to Amanda's 2 young daughters. I did reach out to the California Highway Patrol to ask what happened and how they handle something like this. I did not get a response back. We are still waiting on autopsy results to confirm Amanda's cause of death, guys.
So do authorities know or have any inkling as to what may have happened to her?
No, so they haven't been able to rule out foul play at this time, but they also don't know if that is the case. They're also considering exposure to the elements as a strong possibility of what happened. But the circumstances are very bizarre. She was found under a tree. She was found nude. And what's even weirder is she was found about 1.5 miles from where her car was abandoned, or where they found the car. And authorities have been searching that area for weeks, even with cadaver dogs, drones, by plane, by foot, by side. So they even found it odd that she wasn't able to be found before that, which then does beg the question, was she put back there? They just don't know what happened to her. So we need that autopsy to come back to at least determine that cause of death, if anything was in her system, and then go from there.
So that area where she was found, had they searched that specific area previously?
They thought so. I mean, they had really searched everywhere around where that car was, and she was only found about 1.5 miles from the car. But to put this into perspective, the CHP dispatch that then sent an officer to go search for her, that area where that officer ended up was about 40 miles from there. So a huge difference between all of this. But so many odd and mysterious circumstances, we're still missing a lot of answers. But we do know, regardless of anything, that Amanda Nenigar called 911 and she was asking for help.
Yeah, she had cell service in that rural part of the state, and it just was not enough in this case.
She
Briana.
wanted to be found.
Yeah. Thanks for following up.
Yeah.